Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into the YouTube channel. Man, here in Northeast Texas, or the eastern portion of Texas, we've had quite a bit of rain. It's like the lakes have been full and then we get a little bit more rain. We've had flash flood warnings, different things like that. So I know that there's a lot of high water around the country. Wanted to give you 3 quick tips when faced with all this. I mean, look at all this cover we've got over here. It can get a little intimidating looking at a stretch of bank like that, and it just goes on beyond that point. Around that point is just, there's more and more and more of it. And I've got 3 tips that I would suggest that an angler do when faced with high water and a lot of cover, like an abundance of shoreline cover. Number 1, I'm gonna say be loud. Be loud with kind of a louder, more rambunctious buzzbait. This is a Buckeyes Berserk buzzbait, and the blade actually contacts with the head, makes a loud sound. Basically, what you want to do is create a commotion, create some sound, something so that the fish can distinguish your bait amongst all of that stuff. And so a louder buzzbait, something with a lot of commotion. This bait makes a lot of commotion on the surface, but also is loud. And I might even say go with a chartreuse or chartreuse and white, but a white, kind of a shad one like that could work as well. The second thing that I would suggest you do is upsize your baits. If you've been catching fish on the smaller Yamamoto flapping hog, go ahead and upsize to the larger one. And again, the principle that you have with this is you want those fish to find your bait, to see your bait. And amongst all that cover, you need a little bit more surface area, you need a bigger profile. So if you're catching them on the small one, upsize. It's interesting what you typically have with high water situations, more stain in the water, you've got dirtier water conditions. You've got a lot more items in the water. Even terrestrial grass is inundated by the higher water. And so in that, you want your bait to distinguish itself amongst everything else, or just give yourself a greater opportunity for it to be seen by the fish. I would, this is a green pumpkin, purple and gold. I would probably go to a black and blue or something like that. Or if I was gonna stay with the green pumpkin, I might hit the tails with some chartreuse dip and dye. And just something to kind of give it a boldness, give it a signature in the water so that fish can see it from a distance. And the last thing that I would say has nothing to do with your baits, but everything to do with where you put the baits. And I'm gonna turn around and show you what I mean. So you've got all this cover, let's like this whole cove right here, all in there. It's just tons of these buck bushes right here, or button bushes, whatever you want to call them, buck brush, those kinds of things, lots of that. And it gets hard to narrow down where the fish might be and all of that. So what you can do just adjacent to this are, you see those 2 willow trees out there? Those types of isolated pieces of cover can be almost a no-brainer for where to find fish more quickly. Sometimes you just need the most isolated piece of cover adjacent to all this thick stuff. And that'll help you kind of narrow in some fish pretty quickly. A lot of times those isolated pieces of cover, it's kind of like when you have a long string of boat docks and you have one boat dock on a point. I don't know what it is about that boat dock on a point. It seems to always get fish under it or on it or around it. You can always seem to catch a fish or get a bit on it. Same type of principle. When you've got a big row of brush like that, a lot of cover, check out that isolated cover. Now, it's not 100% for sure, but it's a great place to look, start your search, and kind of minimize what you're trying to accomplish and minimize the amount of surface area you're trying to fish. One of the other things is, it kind of goes back to that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And I don't know about you, as much as I love to eat pie, I gotta have it one slice at a time. And that slice right there is much more manageable than all this Just a quick tip, you guys. Wanted to share that with you. I'm out on the water, obviously, and kind of scouting around for a guide trip. Whew, a lot of pollen in the air, a lot of that cottonwood's blowing around. And anyways, wanted to share that with you. Hope you guys got something out of it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. I certainly appreciate you guys watching these videos, and share it if you can. That would be great. Also, if you'd like to support the channel in any capacity, go over to my description section, and there you'll see a link to my merch, Team Niggemeyer Fishing, as well as my social channels and my website. Until next time, thanks for watching, and good fishing.